Hey there, Janae with Palin Projects here, and in this week's video I am going to be showing you how I am planting my tomatoes, or at least some of my tomatoes, in pots this year. I have most of my tomatoes planted, same process for all of them, but unfortunately in a major windstorm we had the other day, one of my tomatoes broke. So I don't have tomato cages on them yet, and so the wind just kind of flopped them over. Or at least this one. So I'm going to replace it today and show you how I potted up my tomatoes. Now I do have the massive garden out in our pasture area, but I wanted more snacking tomatoes close to our patio so that we could just, pop over and grab a quick snack. So I brought out a couple different pots this year. We'll show you the different ones and show you how I pot them up. So let's get after it. So this is the pot that I'm going to be using today. It's a fairly big pot. I would say it's 16 inches wide, I don't know, 1.5 feet deep. It's just a cheap pot that I picked up many years ago from a department store. It's plastic and composite. So I wanted to show you though, this is the plant that got laid over. I mean, you can see it got laid over, unfortunately. I could try and rehab this, but I wanted to show you something cool. So when I say that tomatoes, they'll grow roots along their stems if you bury them deep, look at this. So this is where I had up potted into the cup. You can see it's got the cup form still, roughly. But if I come in close here, you can see that the roots, like that's a little baby root right there. And this has only been in this pot for, a couple of days. Maybe 5 days, 6 days. And so, look at all these little baby roots. That's what I'm telling you all, that when you plant deep, it creates a stronger root system because it doesn't just have this and these roots going down. It'll now have these roots going out, and you'll just have a massively strong tomato plant. Unfortunately, this one was obviously a little tall in its can, and I probably should have planted it like all the way up to here, and it wouldn't have broke like it did. So that was definitely my fault for not getting it in deep enough and or transplanting it soon enough, because yeah, I should have planted it all the way up to here and it wouldn't have bent over. But I thought that was, a cool learning moment to see all of those little baby roots that have formed since I planted it. Also, I did, just to show you all, I took stems off of here and here, so you can see that those healed over and actually we're starting to produce roots as well. So kind of cool there. Today though, what we're going to be doing is replacing this bad boy with another Chadwick cherry right here. Okay, same variety. This variety was recommended by Luke from Am I Gardener. They're a cherry tomato that produce prolifically little cherries, cherry tomatoes. The other thing that I'm going to be using today is tomato tone. So I throw tomato tone, it's a tomato fertilizer, into the hole and just kind of rough it up a little bit, and then I plant my tomato. So let's get after it. And there we have it, a nice new cherry tomato to go on our patio. Let's walk through a couple of the other cherry tomatoes that I have that are planted and ready to go. Okay, so I took kind of a variety of all of the cherry tomatoes. There's a red cherry that's different from a Chadwick. There's a sun sugar, that's a yellow. That's the purple bumblebee right there. This is a black cherry tomato. And then I wanted to keep the yellow stuffers close to the patio as well, so that we used them for dinners and whatnot. So 3 yellow stuffers, and then a mystery tomato, because apparently I forgot, or my child stole the tag. I'm not sure which. Probably I forgot to put the tag in that one. So we'll see what that one is. It kind of, I'm not sure, to be honest. I thought I could kind of see the leaf structure. It might be a yellow stuffer, but these are the rest of the cherry tomatoes that I have left to plant, and they're gonna go over in actually the blueberry pots because my blueberries didn't survive this year. So I'll be planting those up in a little bit as well. There's the one that we just planted, and then let's pop out to the garden real fast and see all of my big tomatoes. As you can see, the drip is on, which is awesome. That's very neat. But these are all of my big tomatoes. Some watermelon beefsteaks, Brandywine yellows, blacks, just the, you know, the massive tomatoes and the good producers. So here are some other ones. You can tell I'm getting some pest pressure. I'm not sure who is out here. I think it might be Bunny Foo Foo, but they're eating the leaves off of my plants, which isn't great. So, gonna have to figure that out. But there's the second bed. I wanted to use all of the tomatoes that I started this year. I didn't prune or separate as quickly as what I would have liked when I started my seeds. But I really didn't want to waste anything this year. You know, last year I was picking and choosing like the best tomatoes out of the bunch. And this year I really wanted to just like up my tomato production and see what all I could get produced. And the other thing that I wanted to do was separate my cherry tomatoes from my big slicer tomatoes. And the reason for that is because I didn't see us going out to the garden as much to find like snacking items, especially with just the tomatoes and peppers out there last year. Like I see us moving out there more this year. Like we do nightly garden tours with our daughter and whatnot, but I didn't see us like snacking as much on the cherry tomatoes as I think we will around the patio. You know, we get these producing around the patio and it's like a short 2 steps out the door to grab a handful of tomatoes and whatnot. So that's the reason for the container cherry tomato planting. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Last year I did put eggs in my tomatoes at the bottom. This year I did that out in the garden, but not in the containers because I didn't feel like that egg would break down enough. And you know, out there is a little bit more composty. So that is a difference in these tomatoes on the patio that I didn't do out there. But if you have any comments, let me know, and we'll see you in the next project. Thanks everyone. Bye.